Now we're going to talk about slope-intercept form, and you're going to need this for a very long time. So you need to remember y equals mx plus b. The m is your slope, which is your rise, how far something goes up or down, and your run, how far something goes right or left. Okay? And the b is your y-intercept. That's where a line crosses the y-axis. So let's see if we have a couple of examples. It says identify the slope and the y-intercept. So first of all, let's remember that slope is the letter M and y-intercept is the letter B. So this is your y-axis, and the first thing I always look for is where is it crossing? Where's the line crossing the y? Well, it's crossing at positive 2. So your y-axis, your y-intercept is 2. Then I'm going to count from my y-intercept, or you can count between the 2 points they give you. But I'm going to start here at my y-intercept, and I'm going to count up 2, right 2. And if you do rise over run, that equals 1. So I'm going to put a 1 right there. When I'm counting slope, and I'm going to go ahead and erase some things so it's a little bit easier to see, you start at a point and you're going to go to the next point. I like to start at my y-intercept. Okay, I could have started down here, and I'll show you what happens if I do. If I start here, I have to decide which way do I have to go to get to my next point. If I have to go up first, my slope is always going to be positive. If I had to go down, it would be negative. But let's say I go up 1, 2, 3, and then right 1, 2, 3. 3 over 3 also equals 1. You just have to put it in your calculator. Okay? So that's how you find the y-intercept and count slope. Let's try the next one. It says identify the slope and y-intercept for each of these functions. The first thing I do is write myself an example to go by. So I know that whatever is in front of my y, in this case it's a 1, in this case it's a negative 1, that is going to be my slope. So for example, in that first example, my slope is 3. My y-intercept is what's at the end of the equation. It's a positive 1. In this case, there was only an x, so that means my slope was 1. My y-intercept was a positive 4. In this case, there's a negative sign in front of the x. That means my slope is negative 1. And since there is nothing else in the equation, that means my y-intercept is 0. Okay, I'm going to put some lines in here so I don't confuse anybody. And then finally here, my slope is a negative 1 divided by 3. And my y-intercept is a positive 2. So you've got to be able to look at an equation and be able to decide what your slope and your y-intercept are. All right, next example, it says identify the slope and the y-intercept of the linear function given in this table. If you are given a table, the first thing I would like you to do is to get your graph paper and let's graph those points. Negative 2, negative 4, so negative 2, negative 4 is right there. Then we've got a negative 1, negative 3. Then we start at 0 and negative 2. Then we have a 1 and negative 1. We've got a pretty good line going there. And we'll be able to figure out everything we need now that we've graphed it. Okay, first of all, let's do our y-intercept. We're going to say M for slope, B for y-intercept. It's easy to see that the y-intercept is negative 2. That's where this line crosses the y-axis. And this is the y-axis. Then let's count slope. Up 1 over 1. So that means my slope is 1 over 1, which is the same as 1. Okay, and the slope is the same between all points. So if I did it again, I would do what? 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So definitely my slope is 1. Thanks so much, guys. Let us know if you have questions.